too much for San Saba.
Yeah, I think I got the same situation as James. I'm going to pick Goldthwaite, so they're probably going to lose.
Well, Goldthwaite has figured it out, but they didn't have probably a whole lot to figure out. They had probably the roughest pre-district schedule around, and so after, all that, and they've stayed healthy, Goldthwaite's going to beat San Saba this week.
All right, well, those are going to be all our 11-man high school footballs, and we're going to be back after this short commercial break with some 6-man football and some college football on the KPSM Scoreboard Show, or Pick'em Show, brought to you by Sonic of Coleman, Brownwood, and Early.
TJ, these Super Crunch chicken strips strike a delicate balance.
Yep.
They're really crunchy without sacrificing the flavorful and juicy inside.
Right.
It's like when you're stuck in a boring conversation and you have to strike a balance between listening and not caring at all.
Uh-huh.
The key is to throw in one-word responses to make the other person think that you're listening.
Totally.
Okay, you're not paying any attention to me, are you?
Fascinating.
You can't ignore the flavor and crunch of new Super Crunch chicken strips. This is how you Sonic. Only participating Sonic drive-in. See menu for details. KPSM.
Welcome back to Week 8 of the KPSM Pick'em Show, brought to you by Sonic of Coleman, Brownwood, and Early. We're going to get it started with some 6-man football.
Oh, we're started.
Yeah.
It's already started over here on this side of the table.
If only you guys could hear us during breaks.
Talking all about cherry limeades and, cherry Dr. Pepper and
Yeah. All right. If we're
cheese conies.
going to get it started with the Wichita Christian Stars at the Victory Life Warriors. Dennis?
The Stars
Well,
and the Warriors.
the Stars and the Warriors. I don't want to pick them because of the Stars, but I'm going to go with Wichita Christian.
I'm going to take them, as Cameron said, the Wichita Christian Stars.
Wichita. Is that a type of banana? The Wichita bananas. Well, is that Wichita Falls? Is it Wichita Falls Christian Stars?
Yes,
Is that right?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
They had a big win last week because I was looking their scores up just because I was being a little homework going Wichita Falls.
Yeah, they've had some similar opponents so far this year, and Wichita's beaten all the teams that Victory Life's lost to. So I'm gonna go with the Stars.
You did a little bit more there, you Wichita, you.
Just a little bit.
You Wichita homer.
All right, the next game we have are the Zephyr Zebras at the Lomita Hornets. Steve?
Otherwise known as the Zephyr Bulldogs.
Yeah, the Zephyr Bulldogs. I'm going to take Zephyr.
I'm going Zephyr as well.
Yeah, two very tough.
But I do like to say the word Lomita. That's a fun word to say.
It's a great word to say.
I stop off on my way to Austin at Lomita.
Plus, you have to like the named Hornets. So I mean,
I love
a little
Hornets,
bit,
yeah.
a little bit different. I'm going to go with Zephyr too, though.
Zephyr.
All right, next game we have are the Crowell Wildcats, the Throckmorton Greyhounds.
Is it Crowell or Crowell?
I think it's Kroll.
Is it Crowell?
Yeah, I'd go against what I said.
I was wondering about that. But when you said Crowell, I knew immediately it was Crowell.
All right, Dan, you want to start off?
Oh, yeah. It is me. It's Throckmorton Greyhounds. They're highly ranked, and they're rolling.
According to the rankings, I have them number 1, and Crowell's number 6. So,
Oh, wow.
Be a good game.
yeah, I'm going to go with the number 1, Throckmorton, though.
Yeah, I'll go with Throckmorton.
Yep, taking Throckmorton.
Okay. We're going to move into college football now and start off with the HPU Yellow Jackets at the Mississippi College Choctaws.
Choctaws.
Yeah, that's going to be me picking that one. And both of these teams placed hard in Simmons this year. The only difference being Mississippi College won that game, so I'm going to go with Mississippi College.
Dennis, let me borrow your eraser.
Well, I'm going to go with Mississippi College also. Kind of thought Howard Payne would give Hardin Simmons a better game last week, and it just didn't turn out that way.
I'm going to take HPU because I don't have an eraser.
Should have done a little bit more homework there, Steve. Mississippi College, if nothing else, I'm telling you, Howard Payne's probably already left to get to Mississippi. I mean, that is a long drive. Unless did they charter some planes out of Brownwood Regional Airport or anything?
I think they do. I don't know.
I don't think those planes make it far enough.
Okay, well, anyway, I'm going Mississippi College.
All right. 3 of us made the smart pick on that game. The next game.
I'm going to gain another game on y'all. You just wait.
And then there was Steve.
All right, the next game we have are the Texas Tech Red Raiders at the West Virginia Mountaineers. Is that,
I will take Texas Tech. They're on a roll right now.
I think it's going to be a close game because Tech doesn't play bad opponents very well, but I'm still taking Tech.
Depends on which uniforms West Virginia comes out in. You know, they played well against Oklahoma State. They'll
And
probably
Oklahoma.
pull out those same unis and try to win again at home, but I think Tech's going to be enough to beat them.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Tech, although they gave me a bit of a scare last week against Iowa State. But Iowa State seems to be playing everyone tough so far this year. So I'm going to still go with Tech.
All right.
Next game we have are the TCU Horned Frogs at the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
I am going to take TCU. I didn't know that TCU was still lower ranked than Oklahoma State, so I got lucky there.
I don't know what kind of logic that is, but I had to think about that.
I finally got an upset. I was thinking chalked up all the other games.
You were going chalk all the way through, weren't you? Except for that one now, all of a sudden. Oklahoma State is on the bounce-back trail. I mean, they have got to win if they're going to salvage what was supposed to be a really, really good season, a push for the Big 12 title. So Oklahoma State takes this one.
Yeah, TCU struggled so far this year playing a full game. They've come together like one half, put together a really good game, and then second half, nothing. But I'm going to go with TCU for no other reason than I don't like Oklahoma State.
Okay.
Well, I don't like to say the first word, so I'm going to say State Cowboys.
Okay.
And their quarterback situation is pretty mixed up in Oklahoma State.
Yeah, that guy, I can't remember his name, but he's
J.W. Walsh.
yeah, he's not very good.
Yeah. Unless he's playing Texas.
That's true.
Yeah, it won't happen this year.
All right, the next game we have are the Florida Gators at the Missouri Tigers.
Missouri.
Missouri, yeah.
I'm going Missouri over Florida.
All right.
I'm jumping on the Greg Pinkel bandwagon right now.
I was ready to jump on that. Then they lost the quarterback in the fourth quarter. So I'm going to pick Florida to win this game and Missouri to stop dropping back down in the rankings.
All right.
I'll go Gators.
I sure forgot about that
I
quarterback.
forgot
situation.
about the quarterback, too. That's but I'm
You
still
know,
going to take
James
the
waits to tell us
Yeah,
after we made our picks.
He's a very smart man for a guy that wears a flogging Molly shirt.
Hey, I got compliments on that before the show.
Yeah, you got a compliment in the elevator this morning.
Well, that says a lot about the place you stay.
All right, next game we have are the Auburn Tigers at Texas A&M Aggies. Who's that? Is that you, Daniel?
I think it's me.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Aggies. Go Johnny. Johnny football.
All right, I'm going to go with the upset here with Auburn beating Texas A&M. Their defense has been terrible so far this year. Almost got upset by Ole Miss, whose defense is also atrocious so far. I think Auburn's defense is a little bit better, and they have an elite running back there. So I'm going to go with Auburn.
All right.
I'll go Aggies.
I'm taking Johnny football.
All right, next game we have are the LSU Tigers. Nope, UCLA. I corrected myself the first time I was right, and then I just thought I was wrong. Okay, UCLA Bruins at the Stanford Cardinals. I'm going to go Stanford Cardinal. Sorry,
Thank you very
Daniel.
much. I was about to.
Yeah, I saw you look up at me. I realized what I did. Yeah, I'm going to go with UCLA. They have a really good program there since they got Jim Moore Jr. and that quarterback is Nick Hundley, I believe. He's looked great so far this year. I think he's up there in the Heisman watch. So yeah, I'm going to go with UCLA.
I'm going UCLA.
I'm going to continue to ride UCLA.
I'm going to go UCLA as well, even though I love Stanford, what they do and their program. I wouldn't be surprised if Stanford won this game,
Yeah, very pro-style team.
but I'm going UCLA.
Yeah. Next game we have now is the LSU Tigers at the Ole Miss Rebels. That'd be me? Starting one? Or Dennis?
I'll take LSU. I think they're going to be too much.
I don't know why I'm still taking LSU, but I am.
Mettenberger, he's hard to beat. So LSU probably goes ahead and gets the win here. Plus, Ole Miss is kind of having a little bit of a quarterback controversy now, back and forth with between the two quarterbacks. So I think LSU goes ahead and wins.
Yeah, I'm going to pick LSU. Zach Mettenberger's been a surprise, elite quarterback so far this year. I think he's going to continue to roll against that Ole Miss defense.
And then he'll do nothing in the NFL. Like every other LSU quarterback.
I was about to say, he's coming along just about right. He may be the exception to that rule.
Technically, he was a Georgia quarterback starting
That's
off.
right.
Yeah.
So that might help his cause, especially if you go with Matthew Stafford and things like that.
All right, next game we have are the Iowa State Cyclones at the Baylor Bears. Steve?
I'm going to take Baylor.
I'm taking Baylor as well.
Yeah, Baylor's looked good so far this year. They almost suffered an upset against Kansas State last week, but Baylor's their offense is so good. I don't see how Iowa State can keep up with them.
Yeah, that offense is way too good. I'll go Baylor.
All right, next game we have are the probably the marquee game of the week is Florida State Seminoles at the Clemson Tigers. Daniel?
That is 3 versus 5, isn't it, in the polls? And at Clemson, Death Valley, that may be the key to the game. However, man, old Jameis, whatever his name is.
Jameis
Winston, my Heisman favorite.
Man, he is good. He's the real deal. Should be playing for Mac Brown, according to everything that they say in the behind-the-scenes stuff. But anyway, Clemson probably takes it because it's...
TJ, these Super Crunch chicken strips strike a delicate balance.
Yep.
They're really crunchy without sacrificing the flavorful and juicy inside.
Right.
It's like when you're stuck in a boring conversation and you have to strike a balance between listening and not caring at all.
Uh-huh.
The key is to throw in one-word responses to make the other person think that you're listening.
Totally.
Okay, you're not paying any attention to me, are you?
Fascinating.
You can't ignore the flavor and crunch of new Super Crunch chicken strips. This is how you Sonic. Only participating Sonic drive-in. See menu for details.
KPSM.
All right, I'm going to go with Florida State in this game. I think both of or not Florida State. I'm going to go with Clemson.
Oh,
I suddenly just transported into Steve's body for a second there.
They feel pretty good.
Now. Okay. It's a family show.
All right, I'm gonna go with Clemson this week. It's a battle of two really elite quarterbacks. In that battle, the better defense tends to win those games, and I think Clemson's defense is just a little bit better.
I like the quarterback from Clemson. What's his name is Boyd. I like him, but man, I think Florida State's gonna win.
You believe in Jameis Winston?
There you go.
I do.
Jameis.
Yeah.
Jamie, whatever. I can't pronounce his name. I'm still going to take Clemson, by the way.
Yeah, you got that guy, you guys, but you got a coach named Jimbo.
Yeah.
For Florida State.
He's a winner.
Hadn't won anything yet.
Lost most of his defensive players last year, too, in the draft. All right, well, that's going to be all for the college games. We'll be back right after this short break with some NFL picks, our upset, blowout, and nail-biter picks of the week on the KPSM Pick'em Show, brought to you by Sonic of Coleman, Brownwood, and Early.
TJ, these Super Crunch chicken strips strike a delicate balance.
Yep.
They're really crunchy without sacrificing the flavorful and juicy inside.
Right.
It's like when you're stuck in a boring conversation and you have to strike a balance between listening and not caring at all.
Uh-huh.
The key is to throw in one-word responses to make the other person think that you're listening.
Totally.
Okay, you're not paying any attention to me, are you?
Fascinating.
You can't ignore the flavor and crunch of new Super Crunch chicken strips. This is how you Sonic. Only participating Sonic drive-in. See menu for details.
KPSM.
Welcome back to Week 8 of the KPSM Pick'em Show. Pick'em Show, brought to you by
Got it
Sonic.
right this time.
Brought to you by
Got it right, then he second-guessed himself.
Brought to you by Sonic of Coleman, Brownwood, and Early. We're going to start with some NFL picks. The first one's going to be the Chicago Bears at the Washington Redskins. Dennis, you want to start?
Boy, you get the pick.
I will stick with my Redskins.
That's a bad idea. I'm going to take the Bears.
I think the Bears are going to win this, too. I like what Jay Cutler's doing with Mark Trestman. However, RG3 looked a lot more like himself the other night on Monday night or Sunday Night Football against the Cowboys, but I still think the Bears are going to be too much.
Yeah, I think they've slowly worked him back to where he's getting right now into regular season shape, about mid-season.
Well, we kind of figured that'd probably happen.
I think this is going to be a pretty competitive game, though, but I got Chicago just being able to edge this one out. Next game we have are the Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles. Steve?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Cowboys. There's no way Sunshine beats them.
Does it hurt you to say that?
It hurts so bad.
I figured it must.
This is like the third time that I've just had to pick the Cowboys, and it kills a little part of me every time.
The Cowboys have played 2 really good games in a row. They're due a real bad deal. Plus, Steve, come on now. The Cowboys are going to have to wear their blue jerseys. The Eagles always make them wear their blue jerseys when they play in Philly. So
I mean, it works out for them on Thanksgiving. So
yeah, because it's throwbacks.
yeah, those are some sweet
That's the
uniforms. I'll give you
it is. But
give the
anyway,
Cowboys that.
Philly. Me, a Cowboy fan, I'm going with Philly this week.
Well,
My
I'm
son will be very happy about that, by the way. He's a big Eagles fan.
really.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fights going on in that household.
Not really, because, it's about even, but I don't take that serious.
I'm a
I
Buck
love
fan.
my son more than I love football. in other words.
That does not work with me and my dad. I'm going to go with the Cowboys to win this one. Nick Foles only performs well against Tampa Bay, and he's not playing Tampa Bay this week, so.
Might as well be, because Dallas's defensive line is down to,
Well, it's basically our old
I
defense.
think they're calling Randy White right now.
Yeah.
Trying to come back. And that'd be a good thing,
Yeah,
wouldn't
that
it?
would be good. Well, you'll hear it here for the first time. I never take the Cowboys, but I'm going with the Cowboys.
Oh, my goodness.
I think if Michael Vick was around, the Cowboy defense had trouble with RG3 last season running that offense. I think with Nick Foles at quarterback, I think the Cowboys will win it.
RG3 hasn't really ran the ball this year, though.
I said last season. Did you not hear last season?
So it's a different offense now.
All right, so the only Dallas Cowboys fan did not pick them this
I
week.
know. Weird, huh?
All right, next game we have is going to be a game that I don't expect to be very competitive. It's the Houston Texans at the Kansas City Chiefs. Daniel?
The only thing that the Texans have going for them is that they're not going to get booed by the home crowd this week. So I'm going Kansas City.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be cheering that Texas offense as they score points for that defense.
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
It's going to be loud all over the place at Arrowhead.
I'm going to go with Kansas City to make this loss number 5 on my Week 3 prediction I made that they were going to lose 6 games in a row. Just one game away from that.
One game away, and I'm going with the Chiefs. I think Jamal Charles will have a big game.
Texas.
There you go.
It feels better to see Yates in there now, but I still got to pick the Chiefs.
You really just said that.
I really said it. I really.
What kind of a hometown guy are you?
Man, you're not going to be walking back home when you might as well find you a place here in Brownwood.
That's why he's a bad fan.
Or Case Keenum.
See, Dennis-
Either way.
You were booing last week, weren't you?
You were at Schaub's house. You're the one that I heard on the news about at Schaub's house.
I was
last
at
week.
Kubiak's house,
Okay.
actually, waiting for him.
All right.
All right. Next game we have the Sunday night football game, the Denver Broncos at the Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to start off with this one. You get Peyton Manning coming back to Indianapolis, and you get the owner taking a couple shots at him in the media for some reason. When they're doing, I believe they're doing like a big welcome home Peyton thing to him, and nothing better than welcome home than being insulted by your former boss.
On Twitter, no
Yeah.
less.
I'm gonna
Somebody needs to take his phone and computer away from him. Just get all Twitter away from him.
You think that loss to San Diego might have humbled him a little bit too?
It's a good thing Jerry Jones hadn't figured out Twitter yet.
All right,
Jerry Jones leaves his cell phone around in bars, doesn't he?
Probably. I think he still has a flip phone.
Okay.
No, he has one of those ones where you spin the dial.
I'm gonna go with Denver to win this one.
Yeah, I'll go with Denver. I'll go with Denver also, the old man over the young man.
I'm going to take the better offense over the weaker offense because it's a no defensive game.
This one, too, could be up like the Cowboys and Broncos a couple of weeks ago. These
Yep.
two teams can score. Denver, though, takes Indianapolis and Peyton's homecoming.
Yeah. Next game we have is the Monday night football game, the Minnesota Vikings at the New York Giants.
I'll go Minnesota. I think Adrian Peterson will have a big game with Josh Freeman as his quarterback, and that'll open up some things. Actually have a quarterback now. You know, you see what he did when he didn't have a quarterback. Mm-hmm. Now he's going to have a quarterback.
I think Freeman's going to have a great time now that he's got a good team. Now he's going to have a good year. So I'm taking Minnesota.
So you like Josh Freeman now that he's not playing for the Buccaneers?
I love Josh Freeman.
It's going to be too soon. Way too soon for Freeman to figure it out there in Minnesota. But it helps when you can turn around and hand it to 28, 25 times a game. However, the Giants have got to get a win. So they are desperate enough and just good enough to finally get a pass rush on Freeman and win. Giants win this.
I've got the Minnesota Vikings win this one. I think the desperation's actually going to work against the Giants. I think Eli's been trying to force throws all season long, and he just keeps making these really bad picks. He's up to 15.
I think so.
Yeah, I think he might be a little bit north of 15 so far this year. I mean, he's had a rough year now.
He's north of something.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see Coughlin choking somebody out on the sidelines. Watch out for that.
They'll be bringing out the ambulance for Coughlin eventually.
And just to address the little Josh Freeman comment Steve made, if I had a quarterback, Schaub, T.J. Yates, and Case Keenum, I'd love Josh Freeman too.
I do. Well,
True.
All right, we're going to take a short little break and be back with our nail-biter, blowout, and upset picks of the week on the KPSM Pick'em Show, brought to you by Sonic of Coleman, Brownwood, and Early.
CJ, these Super Crunch chicken strips strike a delicate balance.
Yep.
They're really crunchy without sacrificing the flavorful and juicy inside.
Right.
It's like when you're stuck in a boring conversation and you have to strike a balance between listening and not caring at all.
Uh-huh.
The key is to throw in one-word responses to make the other person think that you're listening.
Totally.
Okay, you're not paying any attention to me, are you?
Fascinating.
You can't ignore the flavor and crunch of new Super Crunch chicken strips. This is how you Sonic. Only participating Sonic drive-in. See menu for details.
KPSM.
Welcome to Week 8 of the KPSM Pick'em Show, brought to you by Sonic of Coleman, Brownwood, and Early. We're going to do our nail-biter, blowout, and upset picks of the week.
Did y'all have trouble with these?
I had a horrible time with
Yeah.
this.
This is tough.
Yeah,
It's
this
a tough
one was
week
tough.
for it.
It's
Yeah.
a hard one, especially to find an upset.
Yeah. Dennis, you want to start off with nail-biter?
Nail biter, I'm going to go Denver over Indy.
I got Florida State against Clemson. I got Clemson winning.
Cheater. That's what I've got too. Florida State, Clemson. That may rival the Georgia Clemson game to be the close, right down to the wire nail biter of the week.
Yeah, all right. I've got Brownwood and Liberty Hill as my nail-biter for the week.
Oh, good one.
That'd be a good one too.
Yeah. Next game we have is blowout, our next pick. Steve, you want to start that out?
Yeah, I'm going to take Baylor, just like I do almost every week.
He keeps looking at my page.
I'm telling you, he's looking at mine. I'm pretty sure that's what I've got.
Well, every
too.
time he leans over to talk to the microphone, he looks at him.
That's been the trick all year.
Every week you can just pretty much go with Baylor because they're going to put 60 up. So except last week, 35 I think is what they scored last week. So they were way off. But anyway, they're back on track this week for the blowout over Iowa State.
I've got my blowout, Bangs over Early. Bangs is angry. Early's shown the tendency to kind of get blown out, either win games or get blown out in them. So I'm going to go with Bangs.
That's a good one, but I'll go Baylor also.
So I'm the only one different in that
I
one.
think that early game might be really close, though, the way Early's been all year. The way they've been having really good weeks, and then they'll have a really bad week against teams they shouldn't.
You keep thinking that, Steve.
It's been that way all year.
Next pick we have is the upset pick of the week. Daniel?
Let's see. This was a tough one, like I said, to get an upset out of this, and I'm not even so sure that this is an upset. But Missouri over Florida. Is that an upset?
That is not an upset.
It's not.
It's not.
That's
actually an upset?
Missouri's a pretty significant favor if you go by the polls.
I don't have one then. Can I?
We'll come back to it.
Pause for a second.
New York,
I think
the Giants over Vikings.
is Philly over Dallas an upset?
That would probably be one too.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm going Philly over Dallas.
Or New York. Or Minnesota.
All right.
Philly over Dallas is my upset. There we go.
All right. Now my upset's going to be Florida over Missouri. So.
See, we're just not even on the same page.
Nope.
What?
Florida's ranked like 20th, and Missouri jumped up to the high teens now.
I think so.
Yeah.
After
Okay.
their win over
Missouri's
Georgia.
14.
I'll take Florida State over Clemson.
That's a slight upset, but an upset.
But like I said,
So I'll just write slight.
we'll only give you half a point for that one.
Point for that one.
I am taking TCU over Oklahoma State.
It should not be an upset at this point of the year.
No, it shouldn't.
You
But
lose to West Virginia, you should lose your ranking.
it's the only upset I've got on here, so I just have to pick it.
You just picked all favorites. You're just trying to get back in the running for that Coney.
Trying desperately
Nobody
to
picked.
game.
Nobody picked Wichita. Has anything?
No, nobody went with cheetah on us. Cheetah bananas all around.
I can't get chased out of Brownwood and Houston, so I can't pick against Victory Live.
All right, that's going to do it for the KPSM Pick'em Show, Week 8 of the KPSM Pick'em Show. If you heard a door slamming, that was Dennis and Daniel both running out of the studio now. They got to get up to Cisco this week because they're going to have to run pretty quickly. That's it for the Pick'em Show. We'll take a little bit longer break so they can get up there, and we'll see you guys next week. Make sure to listen to, after the show, the Scoreboard Show with me and Steve, bringing you all the local scores for high school football, six-man football, and if there's any good college games, and maybe some baseball, just if it's not a lot of scores. We're going to see you next week for that Week 9 of KPSM Scoreboard Show, or Pick'em Show, brought to you by Sonic of Coleman, Brownwood, and Early.
Bringing 100,000 watts of praise to the rock of our salvation, The Rock. 99.3 FM, KPSM Brownwood.
Live from Chelsea Stadium in Cisco, Texas, it's the Sonic Drive-In pregame show.
If you can't be an athlete, be an athletic supporter.
Here are your hosts, the voices of your Coleman Blue Cats, Dennis Picasio and Daniel Stovall.
Good evening and welcome to the Sonic Drive-In pregame show. Sonic Drive-In, 2300 South Commercial Avenue in Coleman, proudly serving Coca-Cola products. I'm your host, Dennis Picasio, along with Daniel Stovall. Hey. And, of course, the world-famous Ricky Ray roaming the sidelines. Not yet. Not yet. It is raining here in Cisco. It is cold. The wind is, what would you say, not really blowing, but...
It's 30 knots right now.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, actually. So it's probably blowing about 30 miles an hour. The cold front blew through, about 20 minutes ago, and blew up a little rain. And so far we haven't seen any lightning. The Blue Cats are going through their full warm-up workout, although that kind of is oxymoron this afternoon as the temperatures dropped way down. But Ricky Ray will have the weather report for us in a minute.
As always, I want to start off the show by saying thank you to Wayne Stovall for doing our stats for this season, and we really appreciate the work that he does. Coleman Blue Cats are coming off of a district opening win against the Hamilton Bulldogs, 45-18 last week, exactly the way we had hoped they would start district play.
Played well. Even though the play discrepancy was probably not exactly what Coach Ballard wanted it to be, Hamilton ran 72 plays to Coleman's 41 plays unofficially. We had scoring drives of 1 and 2 and 3 plays, and it's hard to keep the ball when you're scoring, right